We interrupt that interview with Kelly Khumalo to take you live to the ANC conference here in Gauteng, where it has continued this weekend after it was unable to conclude it 2 weeks ago. Pule Mabe addressing a press conference. Let's listen in.
This conference becomes successful. We've already received feedback from some of the provincial officials suggesting that indeed when plenary resumes, it will be able to conclude with what was the outstanding business of this 14th provincial conference. We have said as members of the National Executive Committee who are deployed to this 14th provincial conference that we too are going to do everything else we can in our power to make sure that the quality of debates, of resolutions coming out of this conference reflects that the program of unity and renewal here in the province of Gauteng is indeed on course. We are also going to participate in efforts to make sure that we bring all of the comrades, the delegates that are here together. Because the strength and possibility of us again continuing to govern our people beyond 2024 depends on this conference, the unity of members of the African National Congress, because they are the ones who must go to the ground and galvanize the much needed support for the African National Congress. So we are quite serious as the NEC, and we are quite committed to fostering the much needed unity of our people. We must, of course, caution. We did get reports earlier that there were some who, unauthorized, of course, were speaking to yourselves, trying to drive very destructive narratives. We can say here on record that they were not sanctioned to talk to the media. They don't have authority to do so. They are provincial office bearers here who are working together with the DIP at head office. And we will not allow anyone, regardless of what positions they might have held in the ANC in the past, to do things that bring the ANC to disrepute. Because if such acts or conducts continue, they may force the ANC to invoke Rule 25, just dealing with the discipline of cadres of the African National Congress. We're quite serious about maintaining order in the African National Congress. No one just does as they like here in the organization. The reason why our delegates, our branch delegates who are attending this conference go through a tedious, tiresome process of BGMs, sometimes having to reconvene more than 2 times, sometimes having to appear before dispute resolution committees, is because our systems are tight. We are a self-respecting organization. Those that come into the fold of the ANC have got to understand that being a member of the ANC is actually a privilege that we must embrace with great honor. Because this is the organization of Nelson Mandela, whom we are celebrating this month. It's the organization of Oliver Tambo. It's an organization of many other great freedom fighters that the country celebrates at all times. And to really make sure that we hold on to their own legacy, we have to make sure that this inheritance that they left with us and the people of South Africa is not made to collapse by individuals' conduct. All of our members must display selflessness, show character, and high regard for all the rules of the African National Congress that guide the discipline of our members, and all of that. So when we reconvene plenary, we will effectively provide that guidance that plenary had requested to us to provide when they broke into commissions. So conference is going to conclude with its business. And when they conclude, Gauteng, when they rise out of this conference, Gauteng will be having a provincial executive committee of the ANC. And they will be able to discharge all of the resolutions that will come out of here to make sure that we make Gauteng an even much better place for the citizens of this province. We're encouraged by the cooperation displayed by the provincial office bearers, the conduct of the delegates themselves, and we are hoping that they will be able to conclude what they came here to do. We just felt we must give members of the media that kind of an update without really going into much details. If there are questions that members of the media might want to pose for clarity, the floor is open. Yes.
So, Mr. Mabe, and please, you just need clarity on this issue.
Yes.
We're not fighting as members of the media, but you talk about, you talk about issues that were raised in plenary. And when speaking to some delegates, the issue of the quarantine votes, yet again, I know during the week you had said that the ANC is tasked with that matter, you're dealing with the matter. Did you discuss this matter? What was the way forward? Because I know the steering committee met, but please take us into confidence. What actually happened? Will this issue be resolved? Will those quarantine votes be open? Will plenary probably vote on it? Just please give us clarity on that. Thank you.
No, I mean, it's not a matter that really requires us to fight. As you say, you want clarity. So we can clarify you, on the famous issues of the quarantine branches. The steering committee was seized with that matter. It was raised in plenary. Plenary requested the steering committee to provide guidance. We will be giving that guidance to plenary. So it's not a matter that it's not a matter that breaks the life of conference. So we'll be able to deal with that issue and we'll be able to provide the necessary clarity. So...
Apologies if I went in there. Lindo Bushekulu from ENCA. I just want to get a sense really in terms of engagement there, because I know some of the people that are in the steering committee are from the NEC. Is there any concession that is being made by the NEC to say that they might have proceeded not favorably towards this conference by saying that the new provincial executive committee must be dealing with the issues of the quarantine votes, because those are some of the issues that were raised by some of the delegates within plenary. And also perhaps it's asked by Natasha, but I want to get a sense in terms of what are the timelines that we are looking at, because time is of the essence. It's the second time that this conference reconvenes and resumes. So what are the timelines in terms of ensuring that you are successfully able to complete this conference with the new complement of the NEC? And I know the part about some of the important discussions has, in fact, after the adjournment, be attended to. But what are the timelines in terms of when this conference will be reconvened again, as you said, and actually start with the process of nomination?
No, but conference is in session. Conference is in session. I'm not sure which conference. Conference is in session.
I can clarify, if you want
okay,
to clarify.
that's fine. No. Let me answer what I've understood, so that so that if you need to clarify holistically, you do so. Conference is in session. We took break to allow conference to go into commissions and for us to convene in the steering committee to attend to issues that conference had asked clarity on. So today's adjournment, earlier adjournment, just to use simple, loose, high school language, short break. So that's what they've done. They'd gone on break. But they used the time for the break to then do the work of commissions, so that by the time you go back to plenary, at least you have dealt with the other business of conference, so that you don't keep your delegates without them having to rest, because they are going to various places of employment, schools, and all of that on Monday. So we're mindful of that. So we are using the past experience to make sure that when you deal with one issue, it doesn't then affect the rest of the other issues. So that's why even during the day, when we could not start with the nominations of additionals, what did we do? We allowed policy discussion documents to be presented to plenary. So basically, in terms of efficiency levels, we've been doing quite well, because you don't have a business of conference that seems to be lagging behind. So where you see that I'm losing time here, you use the other time to cover the other component of conference. So that by the time you go back, I mean, imagine this way, if we go back now, back to plenary, and then you then address the issues that had been raised, and then move to the nomination of additionals. So the only thing that would just be a delay would be that the delegates now, they were going to be taken from commissions to go and vote. So it means that as they take commission reports, then you give ASA the space to prepare the ballot paper. Then ASA indicates once they are ready with the ballot paper and you are still dealing with commission reports, then they are then able to come and take delegates according to their regions to go and vote. Or you tell delegates that conference is going to adjourn for purposes of voting, but you will be told or when is your region voting. So normally we vote, so you find that voters' roll are prepared according to regions. So they will be called according to their specific regions to go and conclude that. So we are looking at all of these things as part of enhancing the efficiency and smooth running of conference. So when conference goes back, the issue they would have raised, we are able to provide guidance. Actually, we've got sufficient information to be able to empower conference.
Can the NEC then concede that they made a mistake by delegating this to the PEC, new PEC?
Well,
it's the one that's causing problems here.
No. We did not make a mistake. We did not make a mistake. We don't have a new PEC. We have got provincial officials. We've got provincial office bearers. What they did themselves, I mean, it's also very possible that there's a question of time. Remember that we concluded the NEC on the 24th, in the wee hours. And on the very 24th morning time, the PEC of Gauteng had convened. The very same day, conference of Gauteng was starting. They had convened at the same venue of conference.
This was weeks after, Mr. Mav, I should say, this was weeks after the Ekurhuleni region set and announced their leadership and had this issue of the quarantined votes. So while you say that it happened, yes, at the conference venue a night before, but this issue was for weeks hanging until they had to decide.
Well, you see, we're at a provincial conference. This is the space of the provincial conference. Matters of Ekurhuleni regional conference, including quarantined votes, their status and all of that, and all other related issues, have been referred back to the PEC. It is the Provincial Executive Committee that decided to defer this to the incoming PEC. The NEC didn't say that.
But that's what you communicated. You said you met until the early hours
no,
of the morning,
but
then you decided, because this was escalated to the NEC to say they must sort it out.
No, but
a PEC that is non-existent at this stage.
No, but so that we avoid a dialogue, because the millions of viewers back at home are watching this with great interest. So we must give them assurance. You see, so on the 24th of June 2022, which was on a Thursday, Gauteng province had a provincial executive committee. On the 24th, they had a provincial executive. So basically, whatever, if because we had written to them, and we gave them the options available. If when they said on the 24th, took whatever decision that, okay, let's open the quarantined branches of votes of Ekurhuleni, it would have been their own decision. We didn't say, there was no rider in the statement of the Special National Executive Committee that it must be the incoming PEC. We did not say that. We said That's why even the letter that came from the Treasurer General on behalf of the Secretary General's office was not addressed to T.K. Nziza. It was addressed to Jacob Kawe, who was Secretary at the time. So the Gauteng had a provincial executive committee. The PEC of Gauteng was only disbanded on the 25th, if I recall well. So they were only disbanded just after credentials were adopted. It was on the 25th of June. So on the 24th, the structure was there. We could be debating whether the time they had was sufficient for them to deal with the matter. But if you, by your own admission, say that the issue has been on the table for 2 weeks, and why it was on the table for 2 weeks, it was to enable the NEC, which had put up that task team led by Comrade Jeff Khadebe, to conclude with that investigation. Because we take issues seriously, especially issues that have got to do with the bearing on the outcomes of conferences. They don't want you to just take a rush shortcut. You will do mistakes. You ought to show your structures that you are paying greater attention on the issues that are brought. Because conferences have got their own life, especially conferences that happen at the year when the ANC must also convene nationally. So, there are quite a number of things that are happening there. There could be interests and all of that. Whether if this province goes this way, as an NEC member, does it now mean that I'm coming back to work, or will I be out? So there's a number of factors that you find around these conferences. But what we always encourage is that we who are NEC members or who are in the leadership structures must do everything to unite our conferences. We must make sure that they are not about who wins. The ANC must emerge a winner in every conference of the African National Congress. It must be the ANC and the ANC only that emerges a victor. Because individual leaders of the ANC who emerge in conferences are not going to implement their programs. No. It's not like that. No, it doesn't work like that. You are elected to work with a collective, work within a collective, implement a program designed and adopted by conference. Because we believe in democratic centralism, you are also guided by programs that national shall have adopted coming out of its own national conference. Because whatever structures of the ANC do in provinces, they try, adjust, and adapt their own programs to be well within programs of the ANC that are crafted through the resolutions of various conference or resolutions of conference. So where we are, I don't think there is a crisis.
So, like you said, you still seized with the matter, you provide for it in the matter. So at this time, you don't know if the vote is going to be open or closed, and our not time frame.
No, I know, but I agree but I agree it belongs to plenary. It belongs to plenary. It was not raised by yourselves. It was raised by plenary.
It was raised by plenary.
No, but it will be irresponsible of me.
But Mr.
I will not. No, let me say this. No, but let me tell you what we are not going to do. What we are not going to do is that we are not going to be told by yourselves how we must run the ANC.
We are asking nicely.
So I'm saying I'm saying to you, as okay, I'm helping you. I'm assisting.
Will the vote be open or not? Please, Mr.
Okay, let me assist you. Let me assist you. The session of conference where this clarity is going to be provided is going to be the open session. You are welcome to come with your camera, record that for your viewers. What I'm not going to do, and this goes to all media houses, what I will never do is that I'm not going to act in an ill-disciplined fashion because journalist wants to file, and I brief journalists on something that belongs to conference even before conference could be told. Kill discipline in terms. Conference in rumile. Are se re fitle le conference e. Se dire tsamara la tlama phephe mo strategy. No. It can't happen like that. We must be given that space, and this must be respected, colleagues from the media. Respect that. It is not yourselves who raised this issue. It is conference. ke taba tša conference e di ona na re o botsa dipoelo tša conference se re botsa batho ba nne ba kgetha delegates tše di fola line di a kgetha a re tsere ba botsa gore o winne mang šetse re busy le bonataša ape mokete o winne ku leaka mos tšeo le re di a bondaba man no don't make us gossipers. We take this thing to where it belongs. We brief conference. We will allow you, it will be an open session. You are asking the spokesperson of the ANC, whole spokesperson, to gossip on TV. No, comrades. No, you are remaining. Well, conferencing, Rolibicha, Bulio, Wanabatal Feleseja, le camera, everything, le cover when we give conference clarity. That section of conference will be open to yourselves. So that there is no misinterpretation. For God. I hope this clears the matter. Again, in elections, you get them at plenary when we give them to people. Or you get them first. Maybe I say maybe at Natasha Mangu win. Pay but one never had about Zeba. Again, you get results at the same time that they are given to delegates. Even this one, same time when we give the information to delegates, you'll also be getting it. Hey, what I rather about quarantine? I've never seen people fall so much in love with an internal ANC matter the same way that you have done with this one. But it's okay. It's okay. I mean, I guess it's a matter of public interest. Yeah. No, we understand. It's a matter of public interest. We're not being hard on you, but we're just saying that allow us to do the first outline on our position to those that had asked us to give guidance and make you part of that meeting when we give this information.
Thank you, Mr.
Okay, no thanks.
They're waiting for you at plenary. This is trending. On the Gauteng ANC, it has over 600 views.
Which one?
Immediately when you started shouting, the views went up.
There's live pictures coming from the restarted Gauteng ANC conference. Pulemabe there, the national spokesperson for the ANC, addressing the media, going to great lengths to say that the leadership, the steering committee, is indeed on top of things with regards to the very controversial issue around quarantined votes, and that they are in a position to give the necessary guidance to conference. He said we have sufficient information to be able to empower conference, and seemed to be quite incredulous as to the many questions from the media about how they've come to their decision with regards to that vote. And if you did those votes, and if you did hear the end of it, using an expletive in the end there, showing his frustration with the ongoing questions from the media about the issue. Our reporter Linda Kuhle-Kulu also in the mix there with questions and pressing Pulemabe on the issue as well. We'll bring you more from the ANC conference as it develops, as always.